All right, everybody, here we are. At this point, we are heading east. We're going home, driving through Arizona at this point, and we're heading out to a place called Imperial Outpost Games. And this was the store that was recommended to us by our featured player, Charles Ash. And one thing I want to say about them as we pull up to the store here is that this is the only game shop that decided to step up and step forward and say, hey, you know what? If you're going to come here, if you're going to play, you're going to put us on your show, the least we can do is buy you a tank of gas. So the store owner says, you know, here's $50 and put it toward whatever travel stuff you need to put it toward. I actually didn't end up using it for gas. What I ended up using it for was a hotel room in New Mexico. But here we are walking around Imperial Outpost Games, and I just want to take a few minutes and kind of put this place over. Man, this place was labyrinth. Like, every other room that I walked into looked something like this. They just had massive amounts of terrain. They had all kinds of crazy stuff, and it was like several stores put together, and they had just like knocked out the walls, you know, and just added to it. I think that was the story. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Oh God, there's a Sphinx up there. I didn't even notice that while I was filming. But every single turn that I made in this store was just amazing. And they had so much Battletech stuff. Like, I'll tell you, a lot of times you go to these stores and they'll have the new stuff. And that's cool in the gang. You're never going to hear me complain about that. But the thing that I thought was the neatest about this is they didn't just have the new stuff. They had all kinds of Battletech blisters from, you know, days gone by. Just older Ironwind medals. Or not Ralpartha sculpts, but yeah, just old Ironwind metal stuff. And they had that along with all the new Battletech stuff too. So there was just a huge like selection of stuff that you could get, as well as a selection of just so much other things. You can kind of see the Battletech stuff off there to the left as I'm going down the Marvel aisle and some other stuff. Hello, Mr. in a plaid shirt. I didn't know you were there, sorry. And anyway, I believe it was Charles's nephew that works at this store, and this dude is such a talented painter, you all. Like, he painted this Kodiak. Here we are at the Battletech stuff. He painted this Kodiak and some other mechs, which I'll have a video up here, I think. And he painted them with, like, this UV, like, fluorescent type paint gimmick. And if you shine a black light on it, like, oh, it glows in the freaking dark. So that was super cool, and we're going to whip around here and have a look at the Catalyst display with all the force packs and things like that. And see, and they got abundant amounts of it too. I mean, shucks. Hey, shucks, they even got the new Tamar Rising book. If I'd thought of it, I would have bought the beginner box there and just take it at home and use it as like a prize in the league or something like that. But of course, they got some 40K stuff, but I loved their battle foam. Look at all this stuff. Like, any kind of game you play, they got this battle foam. As you know, if you've watched Storage Wars in the past, is something that I have, something that I like. And they had it even for terrain. So there wasn't anything really that I felt like I would be lacking if I came into this store. And the whole entire thing was this wonderful experience. We had a fan of the show show up, and I believe it was because either Charles or somebody else at the store had told him that we were going to be in town. And what he did was he brought with him this huge stack of like old battle technology magazines just so that we could look through it. And I thought that was just such a neat gesture. You know, like somebody heard we were going to be in town and they just wanted to come share that part of their collection with us. And really, if you want my honest opinion, just shooting off the cuff here, that's one of my favorite things about doing this show is that there's such a human aspect to it. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, what kind of walk of life you're from or whatever. People get together and they bring stuff and they just want to geek out about it. Like, they just want to have a good time and show, hey, look at this cool thing. Here's all the glow-in-the-dark stuff. We're coming up on it right now. Check this stuff out. I'm not sure what that stuff is, but that's obviously 40K. We're coming up on the... Yeah, see? Now, I don't know if the mechs are in here. At least ways I thought they were. Maybe it's over here, eh? But yeah, they would just bring stuff to show us, and I just think it's the coolest thing. Like, we get to sit there, have a few sodas, and geek out about whatever the heck it is. There's the mechs. Let's, you know, come on, Tuck. Let's see if we can actually focus on those things, huh? And just hang around and have a good time. And this person wasn't there to play a game with us. He just kind of wanted to come and show us. Oh, great job, Tuck. You just blew right past it. And it just shows you where my head is. So they had just all manner of stuff. And like I said, the store owner was just so kind. He was so glad to have us. This guy is a big time like space nerd. It is so cool. This store has this like miniature library in it. If you go to the back, which is where we played the game at, it's just chock full of reading material that isn't for sale. It's just there so that if anybody wanted to come and read it, they could. And as I was told, they used to have a television that was like keyed into the movements of the International Space Station. And so they used to be able to track like the actual movement of that thing. Look at all this color. Like, my gosh, there is just so much color here. Like, even if it's Warhammer 40K, everybody knows how I feel about that. It's just such a, splash of color. And they got all these gaming mats. What they told me is, oh, you can use anything you want. Just anything you want to use. It's completely up for grabs. Just use it. And I was like, well, shucks. If I had known... See, here's all the space station patches. Check this stuff out. If I had known that I was going to be offered that, shucks, I wouldn't have brought in my gaming stuff. But I brought it, so I figured, well, might as well use it. And we're coming up on some of the painting stuff. Now, this place stocks an insane amount of paint. Like, you'll go to a store, right? And you're going to see things like Bones, or you're going to see Citadel paints. You'll see Army Painter, right? Or sometimes you'll see, like, Turbo Dork, or Vallejo, but you're not going to see as much of this stuff as these guys have. So they are just super keen about, like, painting, art, all that kind of stuff. And they're not elitist about it. They're very cool. It's just, they'll help you out. Anything you need, man, they got you covered. And they've just got an abundance of it. See, I'm about to turn around the corner here. There's more paint. Right here by the snacks. Pro Acrylic. Okay, I never heard of this before I came here. And they even let me have like a little tab. They were like, don't worry about it, man. Just take whatever sodas you want, and we'll talk about it at the end, and don't worry about it. And that's been kind of like an experience that we've had on this show is, oh yeah, look at this thing. It's the stores are like, don't worry about it, man. You're here to film. Like, you're going to put us over. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And they would say, if you need a soda or whatever, just take it. And if you need a candy bar or whatever, just take it. And when you're done, either pay for it. Some of the stores have just said, don't worry about it. You're helping us, we'll help you out. It's just a few sodas. So. To plant the seeds of justice in our bones. To watch the... So if you happen to find yourself in the Phoenix area and you like painting, this is the store for you. They've even got this little setup back here with all these lights and things like, God, there's more paint! Airbrush supplies, Hot dang, it's been so long since I've been here. This was shot back in, I want to say, March. What in the heck is that thing? It's like kind of ziggurat. Yeah, this was shot back in March, and it's been a hot minute since I've been here, so this is all kind of like I'm seeing it for the first time again. Look at this stuff, will ya? This is all like either handmade, hand-painted, based. Some of that stuff is like papercraft or whatever, but those pyramids and whatnot over there, those were all hand-painted by, I don't know if it was the store owner or what, but somebody did. And then they got another case just full of other stuff. Like I told you, see what I mean? Every time I turned around, there was just something else. And it was all just top level, stuff that you would expect to see in a magazine type thing. And all this stuff, I believe, was specifically as not for sale or anything like that. It is so cool. Just not what I'm used to. I'm used to you have to bring your own, and that's the end of it. And whoever painted this stuff is just a pro. Look at this. I can't, even though it's Warhammer, I still can't get over it. Like, and they're big time comic book nerds here too. You got Johnny Quick, the Flash. Everybody knows I love the speedsters. Like, I will always, pop for the speedsters. And then there's this guy. He's like, the cheese head there. That's a Fez. And I totally put that on to take a picture. They didn't mind. I was being a huge nerd at that point. And all of this stuff here is just, you can pick it out and read it and sit down, grab yourself a snack, and hang out for pretty much as long as you want. I don't even know what that thing is. That looks like, you put a piece of cheese in it or something like that. Look, that thing looks like it's going to eat you. Now, here's the code of conduct, and if you pause the video here, you can see it. And here's all the space stuff, the dragon head. See, rockets of the world. Like, what game store just has this stuff? Like, you don't just find this. And I just thought it was the neatest thing that, Firefly, I love that. That this person was just super into that. And here's the Arizona Role Players advertisement. So if you're in Arizona, hit them up. Here's the battle technology stuff that the guy brought in. And, I have all these at home. But if anybody out there on the space lanes just happens to have an extra copy of Battle Technology 0203, that's the one I'm looking for because it got ruined by, some grease. Now we're leaving at this point. This is after the game. And of course, the last time I drove through Arizona when I was coming back home from California, it had bad weather. So this was going to be no exception. It started to rain on us as I was leaving. And I thought, okay, well, if it's just a few drops, I can handle that. And here's a good one, because I gotta give it up for Tuka Yid right here. The Bloody Basin Road, baby. Here's some commentary. So, we have driven through another snowstorm, heading into Albuquerque from Arizona. Got about 249 miles. Here we go. We're coming up on the sign right now. Let's see if we can't see it. Yeah, Mr. Truck wants to block my line of sight here. 254 miles to Albuquerque, 252 miles in the tank. So that means we're darn near there. And probably gonna stay the night in Albuquerque, but here's the gimmick. We're heading up to Dallas, Betty. This is Who Shot TD, that's what we're calling this one. And I get to finally play some McCarran's Armored Cavalry, baby. I ain't never get to play them before. I'd like to. This is a scenario of the player's own division, so I'm kind of excited to see what goes on down there. We're going to have a good old time, but yeah, this is definitely the season where everything tries to kill me. Here we go. See if we can't get into Albuquerque with our lives intact. Thank you. Okay, so I know I said we're driving to Dallas, and at this point in the trip, I actually thought that's where we were going. But no, it turns out that I was going to have to meet the player, Douglas Parker, who's one of our patrons, in Gainesville, or, Denison, as it turned out. And when he said Denison, my ears perked up, and he was just like, well, what I was thinking, how about we go back to Garner's Games? And I was like, yes, we will do that, because we visited Garner's Games, I think that was episode 2 of season 1. So it had been a hot minute since we had gotten the opportunity to go back there. So here's the thing. Doug had said, look, I was going to have you stay the night at my house, but, our new couch hasn't gotten in yet, and I feel kind of bad having y'all sleep on the floor. Me and Drake would not have cared. I'm just telling you now, we would not have cared. But what happened is he said, I've got some Orbitz points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and reserve a hotel for you. It was like a Days Inn, and that was in Gainesville. But it was about this time that you can see I'm in Albuquerque here that I received that information. So back when I shot that little bit of commentary there, I was still under the impression we were going to Dallas. But it was kind of nice to get back to Albuquerque. You know what I wish I'd had time to do was stop off at the game shop where we played the Christmas episode for Season 2, so, hopefully here in the upcoming 4th season, I can stop back by there again. And Texas, here we go, we're driving up on it at this point. It was fine up until we got to a certain point. And it blew my mind if you look how sunny it is right here, and as we're exiting New Mexico. But the farther and farther east I went, it was like I was driving into, a nor'easter or something like that. Because the roads were so icy. It was just bone-chillingly cold, and everything was moving at like a snail's pace. It was so bad. I'm just amazed that we made it to the hotel with our lives intact, like I just said. I thought, here we go, oh, finally a sign. I can actually get a sign and not have the, headlights blinding it because they're reflective. Here we are at Allsups.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto I-40 Business Loop.
Oh, yeah. Allsups, motherfucker.
Turn left onto US South, then turn left onto I-40 Service Road.
Shut up. Allsups, here I go, fat man on a rampage, is kind of like this Southern institution. They have these really great little gas station burritos. Finna talk about it. But we're at Allsups. Allsups, baby. Why am I so excited? Well, okay. Have you ever just had those like gas station burritos that they're so bad, but they're so good, and you just can't stop eating them, and it doesn't matter. You get a little hot sauce, a little Louisiana, a little Tabasco, you're good to go. Yeah, that's what Allsups got. So I had to bust out, what do we got here? Chicken chimney with hatch green chilies. It's been a hot minute. Oh, well, fuck up. So, enough of me being a pig. Here we are. Just driving back toward Dallas. I saw this barn. I thought it was kind of cool. We're getting real close now to the part where it's about to just get icy as all get out. And there's not a whole heck of a lot out here. This is kind of like farmland and just a little pop-up things here and there. And so there's not a lot of reason to stop. I mean, I guess if you wanted to, but here we are. I'm looking at this one going, oh boy, I finally see something that reminds me of home. Oklahoma City. Now here we are on these icy-ass roads, and I remember when we were driving to Garner's Games, I put on the extended theme from The Lone Ranger, because that's what it felt like, just tooling down these roads, trying not to die. And we saw so many cars that had skidded off the road, and I'm just going, oh God, we're going to be careful. I don't want this to happen to poor Tin Can Sally. And we're coming up on this real interesting thing. You can see just how cold it was here in a second when Drake busts this sheet of ice on the car here. Check this out. Go. Oh, yeah, daddy. Now, bust it out like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, this is us driving to Garner's Games, and I had a time I had to be there by, but the thing is I didn't really care, if I was a little late, because I'm like, oh man, Garner's Games is so close to home. It's like 3 hours. That is nothing. That is a walk in the park. So I was so excited to go back to Garner's Games and see Ray again, and he got back in on the video, making his triumphant return. And yeah, this was just another one of the things on the road that tried to kill us, and I was a careful driver, so I mean, it's not like I was fishtailing all over the place and skidding all over, creation here, but I did get, a few shots of Garner's. And this is such a great little story, y'all, so if you have a chance to visit them, if you're in Denison, Texas, check out Garner's Games. But we'll see you here once again very shortly.
Be sure to smash our like button and subscribe to our channel.
Crowdfunding is when lots of people give you small amounts of money to help your passion project come to life.